Well, students, good evening to all of you. So, guys, in today's topic, we are going to discuss the most important questions of pedagogy of social science, right? And basically, some of the questions are, or many questions are from the last year paper, number one. And the topics, whatever I'm going to discuss in today's lecture, the topic is same for all other teaching subjects, right? And common topics we have already covered of teaching subjects. Like first, we have covered the lesson planning, second, curriculum construction, third, teaching methods. Okay. And today we are discussing the some common topics, right? So these notes I have already given to you. Teaching of SST, you all have the notes. Today I'm discussing directly from the notes. Okay. And the first question is discuss the meaning, nature, and scope of social science as a school subject, right? Science का भी question same है, right? Even biological science, mathematics, you can check your syllabus, meaning, nature, scope, almost, topic is same, right? So today I'm discussing the social science. So social science क्या चीज है? Social science is the study of man in relations to society, right? From particular point of view, practical point of view, society has become more complex with passage of time. As a result, it became difficult for human beings to adjust in the changing society. So it is thus required that human beings be trained according to the changing patterns, needs, and problems of the society. To fulfill these needs, these aims, social science is included in the school curriculum. अब आपको you have got the point. So guys, the topic is, देखो पढ़ो questions को, meaning, nature, and scope of social science. Okay, whenever you have to teach the social science or you are teaching the social science, okay, because many of the teachers, they are also watching my lecture. So whenever you go into the class, you should have clear, in your mind, you are going to teach social science. Basically, what is the purpose of social science? Why the subject social science has included in the curriculum? Because social science means study of a man in relations to the society. Okay, and society is more complex. There are many social structures, social pattern, social things. Okay, it is thus required that human being be trained according to the changing patterns, needs, and problem of the society. For fulfilling these aims, social science subject has included into your curriculum. Got it? So ऐसा नहीं है. Okay, if just up you open the book, see the topic, and you start teaching. At least concept should be clear in your mind. Why the teaching of mathematics has included in the school curriculum? Why the subject of science has included? Right? Science is included because the attitude of the student should go towards the science also. Right? So, guys, every subject has its importance. Okay. Now, this is a B.Ed class. This is a class of teaching subjects. Okay. You will come to know about, what is the importance of these all the teaching subjects in the school curriculum. Right? So, this is about the social science. Now, we discuss the nature of social science. What is the nature of a social science? The first is, from these notes now, I'll discuss the main important points. Okay. Rest in detail, you can learn by yourself. Okay. Because already I have given you these notes, right? Today I'm taking direct class directly from these notes, right? So I will discuss the important points and, headings also. Okay. So that concept would be clear in your mind. And I'm assured that after my lecture, you will see the notes. Another 2 hours, you will cover your teaching of social science paper, teaching of social science syllabus. Okay, guys. So now we are discussing the nature of social science. The first step is, the first is concerned with the society. Social science is concerned with the society. Right? ये देखो, it is a study of society. And through the society, it helps the student to acquaint themselves with complex social structure, therefore preparing them to adjust in the society. You got the point? Okay. Means why the students are taught the teaching of social science? Because of the to adjust into the society, right? Or social science kya cheez hai? The second nature of social science is compound rather than a mixture. Social science draws its subject matter from the history, geography, economics, and civics. ये देखो guys, you should have this knowledge, right? Social science का जो करिकुलम होगा, टॉपिक्स होंगे उसके, it has derived from okay history, geography, economics, and civics. But social science has become a separate discipline. Social science in itself a separate subject. Okay. Although it contains history, geography, economics, civics, some of the topics, but it is a separate discipline. Okay. Third point of nature of social science is prepares for the practical life. ये जो topics हैं, whatever I am discussing, this is also same for the other teaching subjects also, more or less. Okay, guys? And don't think that कि Lalit sir is taking class of teaching of SST, right? So ये जो nature है, it would be, you will see in other subjects also, right? So points would be almost same. Prepares for practical life. अब ये देखो science है, science के लिए भी ये आ गया heading. Science, okay, nature of science. It prepares for practical life. Okay, if you have a teaching of mathematics, if you have teaching of biological science, then the topic is same, prepares for practical life. But second topic is for teaching of SST. Second heading is, okay. So that's why I have told you, see your just once, see your teaching subjects, almost 80-90% are syllabus same, right? Like lesson planning, like curriculum constructions, like CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, right? Visual aids, right? ये सारे के सारे topics, lesson planning, right? ये देखो, next fourth is concerned with human welfare. Social science draws its subject matter from other subject. Not only does it acquaint with various agencies of society, but also the contributions made by the agencies in welfare of the human beings. Right? तो ये जो social science है, it is concerned with the human welfare. Okay? But when you will go into the science, you will see that. Okay? So, science थोड़ा सा आपको, science subject, it makes you practical. It gives you the practical knowledge to you. The fifth is develops the personality of the student. Social science not only helps in intellectual development, but also develops creative thinking, social sensitiveness, and truthfulness among students. Right? Sixth point of nature of social sciences, it studies the relations and interrelations of human beings. Right, guys? A dynamic subject, right? Little bit swiftly, I'll discuss the point because points are the easy points. If I see that this is a difficult point and new for you, then I will explain it. Right, guys? Dynamic means which changes, right? So social society is changing. Okay. If the society is changing, so what is a social science? Social science is concerned with the society. If the society changes, then automatically syllabus curriculum of the social science changes. Then you can say that this is it is a dynamic subject. Okay. Next is emphasis on relations then individual. ये देखो बड़ा important है because it talks about the society. Okay. देखो psychology है ना, psychology talks about individual. Got it? Psychology subject talks about individual because every person's have different taste, different attitude, different aptitude, right? But when you have taken the subject of social science, the nature of a social science is social science talks about the society, not the individual. So then, point ban ke aa gaya, emphasis on relations, then individual. It is a subject of social science that stress is given on the study of relationships rather than individual. Okay, utilitarian approach. Social science is concerned with the needs of the society. What is the need of the society? How we come to know that? What the society demands? What would be the future? Okay, how we will come to know that? We will come to know that from the teaching of social science, from the social science subject. Got it? Guys, education is not a different thing, right? Education is your whatever demands the society, that demands becomes the subject. Okay, that's why now whenever you have to teach to the student, whatever the topic you are teaching to the student, there should be a application of that topic. Okay, matlab it does not mean just to mug up the topic, just to mug up and putting into the mind of the student. Okay, you should have the practical approach of that particular topic. Okay, this is the application of that topic, and you will see that your student will retain the information to the long time, right? Why the student forgets? Student forgets because why the student forgets the content? Because of a teacher, because concept is not clear to the teacher. When the teacher having the application, when the teacher having the in-depth knowledge of particular subject which the teacher is teaching to the student, so yaad rakhna, always remember, right? The retention power of the student. Okay, student can retain that information up to the last time, up to the long time, right? Next, last is prepare the child for wholesome social living. Through the media of a social science, student learn about social environment and learn how, where, what to do. Okay, ये सारा nature आ गया. Then scope of social science. What is the scope of social science? Okay, तो scope में almost you can put the point of nature of social science, about the social science. Okay, तो ये all the points you can put under the topic of scope of social science. Okay, guys. So important points I have underlined. Okay, you can see that. ये देखो. At present, the field of social science is very vast as compared to other subject. Social science draws material from all the social science relating to the study of human relationship, human institutions, human behavior. Thus, its scope is very vast and wide. क्या क्या है? Study of a human society. Already we have little bit discussed in the nature of social science. Study of human relation, study of interrelations of a man with his physical environment, study of culture. ये देखो सोशल साइंस से you will come to know about your culture. Got it? सोशल साइंस क्या चीज है? What is a social science? Social science is a study of society. Okay, और कल्चर क्या चीज है? What is a culture? Okay, I tell you, there is no difference between the culture and society, but only the one difference is that you can see the society, but you cannot see the culture. Got it? You can see the society. Society ko you can see, but you can't see the culture. What is culture? Culture is your ritual, your ceremonies, huh? Your belief. These are the cultures. So study of a culture, how you will come to know that? Because we have the different religion, right? In India, so different cultures we have. How we will come to know about the culture of the other community from the study of social science, right? Okay, guys. And society and culture may the difference is that you can see the society, but you can't see the culture. Okay, because culture is a your belief system. Okay, all up to whom you have faith on the god, different gods. Okay, so we should respect, huh? So from the study of a culture, we'll come to know from the social science, but not from the science. Huh? You have seen that. When you go for a science and mathematics, such kind of a subject, okay, it makes you a little bit, different from, art subjects. You have seen that now. So every subject having the merits, having the demerits. Okay. But the teacher should have knowledge of these all the things. Only then he or she can teach effectively to the student. Relation of a man with institution. What is our relation with the institutions? We'll come to know from the social science. Study of interrelations between man and economy, study of history, study of current affairs, functional study of a natural science, functional study of a fine arts. We'll come to know from the study of social science, right? So social science हो गया हमारा, nature of social science और scope हो गया. Scope is a very vast, okay? So many things includes in the scope. The second question is, discuss the principle of a designing the curriculum of social science. And guys, the same questions can come to the science student also. Discuss the principle of designing the curriculum of science, designing the curriculum of biological science, designing the curriculum of English, designing the curriculum of mathematics. Okay, because topic is same, right? And this topic we have already discussed, last to last lecture. Okay, in detail we have discussed, right? You can see the video. ये देखो आप, है ना? You can see that Cunningham की definition see, है ना? When I, all of you, when I told that you all have to remember the definitions of a Cunningham, what the Cunningham has said regarding the curriculum. Curriculum is a tool in the hands of the artist. Who is the artist? Artist is the teacher, to mold his material. Material is pupil according to his ideals, aims and objective in his studio. हाँ, you remember ना guys, right? ये देखो same आ गया. और ये देखो principle of designing the curriculum constructions, वही 10 points आएंगे, okay, which we have discussed in the common class. Okay, when I took the lecture of curriculum constructions. Okay. तो ये देखो, first you have to define about the curriculum. ये देखो principle of designing the curriculum. ये देखो principle of a child centeredness. हाँ, right? The first. And even this questions comes in the teaching of science, teaching of biological science, teaching of English, teaching of maths. So guys, the first heading would be the same for all the teaching subject. Principle of a child centeredness. Whatever the subject, whatever the syllabus, whatever the curriculum you are making, the first point is that principle of a child centeredness. You have to keep in your mind the child. Okay, the mental level of the child, the attitude of the child, aptitude of the child, right? Interest of the child, right? So principle of a child centeredness, principle of a community centeredness, वो देखो वही points आगे सारे. Okay, you just change the name of teaching subject. Okay, if it comes in the social science, you have to write social science. If it comes in the science, then you have to replace social science into the science. Only change the keyword only. Right? Otherwise, pick is same, right? ये देखो, more or less, okay, कोई एक या दो टॉपिक्स को छोड़ के you can add, okay? Principle of activity, ऐसा भी नहीं है, you can't add or delete, right? You can add or delete, but around 90%, 95% syllabus, topics, headings are same. If this question, same questions comes in other teaching subjects. Okay, guys? ये देखो, principle of flexibility. Naturally, if you have to build a curriculum of science, so there should be a principle of a flexibility. If you have to construct a curriculum of a mathematics, naturally there should be a principle of a flexibility. It should not be so hard. Principle of a systematic order, definitely that this topic would be same. Principle of a motivation, बताओ, ये तो psychological principle है. It is the same for all the teaching subjects. Okay. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंस, ये देखो, ये भी टॉपिक सेम है, ये भी हेडिंग सेम है. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंस, you have to keep the individual difference na in a class. There are some average student, there are some intelligent student, there are some below average student. So you have to keep in your mind the individual difference of the student, the mental level of the student, irrespective of whatever the curriculum you are making, either social science, either English, either mathematics, either science. Got my point, guys? Right? Principle of a utility, principle of a variety, creativity, Duration of the course. Okay. And in last, you can mute that, guys. Okay. Okay, thank you. So in last, you can say that thus curriculum does not mean only the academic subject traditionally taught in the school, but includes the most important line. But what is a curriculum? It includes the totality of experiences a people means student, receives through the manifold activities that go on in the classroom as well as outside the classroom. Huh? I have told no, in the previous lecture, activities that go on in the classroom, library, laboratory, workshop, playground, and in the numerous informal contexts between teacher and pupil. Right? So curriculum is not the syllabus. Curriculum syllabus is a part of the curriculum. Curriculum includes the totality of the experience of the student inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom. Okay. तो ये 10 मतलब ये आपका आ गया conclusions आ गया guys, right? ऊपर you have defined that principle of a curriculum construction. At the end, conclusion is must. And I have already told you, whenever you have to attempt any of the questions, you have to give the conclusions, right? Okay, next, the third important question we discuss, what do you understand by evaluation or what is evaluation? Explain the types of evaluation in social science. This is same question for all the teaching subject, either in teaching of English, either teaching of mathematics, teaching of biological science, teaching of science. Okay, the same for all the subject, right? So that's why I have told you, don't think that I'm discussing only social science paper. This is same for other subjects also. Okay. And I request to all of you, after this lecture, go for the notes because I have given the different notes to all the students. Okay. But 90%, 95% students having the teaching of social science and English, right? Okay. So after this lecture, you can see your notes, your this syllabus, this topic would be covered within a 1 or 2 days. Okay, guys. Okay. So what the question is demanding, we discuss this question. What is evaluation? Explain the types of a evaluation. Okay, basically question is this, right? कि evaluation क्या चीज है and what are the types of evaluation? Okay, irrespective of social science, mathematics, history, science, English, and others. Okay, so we should having the knowledge of meaning of a evaluation or types of evaluation. Okay, so guys, you should know that first we discuss about what is a evaluation. Evaluations क्या चीज है? And always remember, evaluation is the most important tool. It is in the hand of the teacher. Okay. So evaluation of students' performance. Answer देखिए. Evaluation of students' performance in social studies. अब ये देखो अगर इंग्लिश हुआ तो यहां पे आपने कर देना इंग्लिश. अगर साइंस है तो यहां पर यू हैव टू राइट साइंस. मैथ्स है तो मैथ्स. ओके. Evaluation of a student performance in social science is an essential activity. अब बताओ मैथ्स में भी तो essential activity होगी. Evaluation of the student in teaching of biological science is also an essential activity. Anna, you would be agree with me, right? It is the process of determining the extent to which the objectives of social science have been achieved by the student. Naturally, if you are a science teacher, so you also have in your mind how much knowledge your students has taken from your lecture. Got it? How you will come to know that? You will come to know that by the evaluation, by the tools of evaluation. This is the important thing. Okay. If you know the tools of evaluation, guys, only you can check with the tools of evaluation how much students have got the knowledge. And even you can check by yourself also, right? So what you do that, you just open the syllabus of any of the class, for example, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and you start teaching, and at the end of the exam, you take the test. This is not a teaching. Okay. So that's why now B.Ed has become the mandatory, because in a B.Ed, there is a teaching methodology. You will come to know that different teaching methodology, and having the mastery on these teaching methodology, your teaching can become so effective. Okay. So always I say that now a student is never ever weak in this planet. Right? Student कभी भी weak नहीं होता. Always remember. Right? So ये देखिए आगे, evaluation is generally used for certification and placement purposes, but it has great potential to be used for instructional purposes. For this, evaluation has to be a continuous and comprehensive evaluation. आगे बढ़े, 2 लाइंस है, ठीक है. आई हैव उसको बुलेट किया हुआ है मैंने. ओके. इवैल्यूएशन हैज बिकम एन इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ द एजुकेशनल प्रोसेस, इन विच social studies is an important aspect at all the school stage. Next is, अब ये देखो, ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है गाइस. इट इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द सोशल साइंस टीचर to carry out evaluation activities and determine to what extent the objective with which social studies taught are being achieved. In achieving different objective of social science or social studies, various abilities, skills, interest, attitudes, and characteristics of the student are stated, developed, and measured. अब बताओ मुझे, tell me how you can say that student is weak. This is your responsibility, guys. You have to develop the personality of the student. You have to develop the various abilities, various skills, various other techniques of the student. Actually, being teacher, you don't know these things because you are not B.Ed and you have started teaching into the school, and you say that student is weak. Got my point now? Correct? So that's why student is never ever weak. Okay. The best teacher always knows the subject first. Subject means student. The best teacher always having the knowledge of his pupil. Okay. If he or she is teaching to the 30 students, he has in the mind the mental level of the 30 students. Okay. Right? If he or she has gone through any teaching methodology course. Okay, guys. Thus, through the evaluation process, one gets a clear idea of each individual student's ability, skills, and interests, etc. Okay. अब ये देखो, ये मेन टाइप्स होती हैं इवैल्यूएशंस की. ओके. टीचर should know it. Teacher must know it. Number 1 is continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Second is formative evaluation. Third is summative evaluation. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं ये. राइट. ओके. ये टाइप्स आ गया. ठीक है. यही क्वेश्चंस में था ना. क्या था ये देखो क्वेश्चन. ये देखो पढ़ो. व्हाट इज इवैल्यूएशन? एक्सप्लेन टाइप्स ऑफ इवैल्यूएशन. राइट. Continuous and comprehensive, formative evaluation, summative. So first we discuss evaluation as a continuous and comprehensive process. कौन सी होती है continuous and comprehensive? Then we will discuss what is formative evaluation, and second we will discuss what is summative evaluation. Okay, so ये देखो, evaluation is really an integral part of the teaching learning process. As a social science teacher, if you evaluate your student in the beginning of the course, इसको ध्यान से देखना. Okay, I need your attention. Okay, guys, because I'm taking directly from your notes, and I'm assuring you that after my lecture, just see the notes. Another 2 hours, you will complete your syllabus. Okay, irrespective of any of the subject, teaching of SST, teaching of math, teaching of science. Okay. So evaluation is a really an integral part of the teaching learning process. As a social science teacher, if you evaluate your student in the beginning of the course and know their abilities and teach according to their level, your teaching is likely to be more helpful. ये देखो अंडरलाइन किया हुआ है मैंने, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन. देखो guys, before teaching to you na, I have learned all the things, right? And I have underlined the most important points for you. ये देखो, this is the first step. Guys, before starting your topic, you should have the knowledge of the student. ये देखो लिखा हुआ है ना, to know their abilities of the student, then teach according to the abilities of the student. Okay, what you are doing mistake, you teach according to yourself. Okay, so teaching, that's why it is called that teaching is not everybody's cup of tea. Okay, if you are in the profession of the teacher, profession of the teaching, okay, you have become the teacher, so then you must know your subject first, your student first. Means the philosophy of the student, means the psychology of the student, psychology covering all the points: attitude, aptitude, interest, mental level, intelligence, creativity. Okay. अब मुझे बताओ, टेल मी, इफ यू डोंट हैविंग द नॉलेज ऑफ द इंटेलिजेंस, ओके, if you don't have the knowledge of theory of intelligence, what is the Spearman theory, what is the Thurston theory, multi-factor theory, okay, and you have started teaching to the student, got my point? So you should have knowledge of a teaching. And one more thing I want to correct it, okay, some you have seen that now, if some teacher is appointed as a teacher of, for example, science, and the teacher says that science is not my topic, my topic is social science, I can teach the social science, I cannot teach the science subject. Or if the teacher is appointed for a mathematics, suppose the teacher has to teach the mathematics, but teacher says that I always teach the social science. So guys, this is also a mistaken done by the teacher. This is a misconception. If you know how to teach, you can teach any of the subject. Getting my point? If you know how to teach, you can teach social science, mathematics, science, English, SST, any of the subject, irrespective of which subject you have the knowledge of, whatever subject, whatever your background is. Either you have come from the BA, from the BSc, from the BCom, you know the how to teach, you can teach any of the subject. So that's why I always say that teaching, pedagogy is a different thing from the learning. Okay. Many of the teacher, they think that they know the concept, but they forget that they have to deliver the concept into the mind of the student, which is called a pedagogy, right? Pedagogy means teaching learning process. Pedagogy means teaching style, right? So you should having the knowledge of pedagogy, and teacher is called the pedagogue, noun pedagogue, right? That's why you should have knowledge of a pedagogy. That's why you have the two teaching subjects in your B.Ed course: pedagogy, pedagogy of SST, pedagogy of English, pedagogy of science. Pedagogy, teaching, both are, same word. Okay, synonym है ये. Okay, next आप ये देखिए, another important second para देखिए. Another important point which the social study teacher should keep in the mind is that the teaching of social studies aim at all-round development of the child. In fact, science, in fact, maths, सभी का aim यही होगा, सभी subject में teacher का. That is a cognitive, physical, social, and emotional. So basically, teacher is working on the cognitive only, right? And forget about the emotional, right? Other domain of the psychology. What the psychology say to you? Psychology says to you, you have to work on all the three domains of the student. कौन सी है domain? Cognitive, cognitive, affective. Okay. So, okay, please tell me, you should have knowledge of a teaching methodology or the subject. Getting my point? You should have the knowledge of teaching methodology. If you having the knowledge of teaching methodology, you can teach effectively into the class and any of the subject. But mostly teacher, they think that they should have the knowledge of the subject. So knowing the things and delivering the things, these are the different things. In the B.Ed, you come to know that how to deliver the things. This is the B.Ed. Okay, this is the crux of B.Ed. Got the point? Okay. तो आगे चलते हैं थोड़ा, ठीक है, इसको पढ़ लेना, दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट, आई थिंक आई हैव डिस्कस विद यू। ये देखो, ये आ गई इवैल्यूएशन टूल्स, दीज आर द इवैल्यूएशन टूल्स, ये देखिए, ओके, ये है। द इवैल्यूएशन टूल्स आर रेटिंग स्केल, चेकलिस्ट, anecdotal records, besides the testing divides. And tell me honestly, how many these tools have used in your class or you will use in your class? Okay, so you should have knowledge of these tools. Okay, then your teaching learning becomes good, effective. Okay, acha, merits of a continuous and comprehensive evaluation, right? Continuous and comprehensive evaluations, you have come to know that. Okay, means wahi cheez, you have to work on all the domains of the student: cognitive, affective, and cognitive. Right now we talk about merits of continuous and comprehensive evaluation. The first is, ये देखो, I have, bolded, I have zoomed out because it is an important line. Modern psychology lays stress on the point that the teacher must know his pupils. आ गया ना, देखो point वही. The teacher must know his pupils. Therefore, it is said that modern teacher knows well about his students. He or she can judge the performance of his or her student in thorough manner. Therefore, assessment made by the teacher will be correct. The type of evaluation will make the student regular and punctual. Okay. Yes. And what you say that in your parents teacher meeting, student is not regular, student is not punctual. Actually, guys, teacher is not punctual in the evaluation part. If you take your evaluation, ये देखो लिखा हुआ है, it is written. The type of evaluation you conduct, it makes your student regular and punctual. The student will study the syllabus in thorough manner. ये देखो, if you are evaluating the student, trust me, your student will automatically will study the syllabus in thorough manner. Problem of copying in the examination will be solved because the traditional type of a test or examination is not given. The student will become more disciplined. Continuous evaluation will create a good academic environment. Hence, the teacher will be in the position to imbibe good qualities in pupils. देखा है ना, यही एक आम जो एक वीक टीचर होता है, these are the शिकायतें, these are the complaints of the weak teacher कि student is not disciplined, student does not learn the syllabus well. Okay, actually teacher is not good. Okay, teacher does not having the knowledge of teaching methodology, right? That's why B.Ed has become mandatory. Next देखो, it will also help the teacher to teach the student good values in life. In this way, education will become more value based. ठीक है, लास्ट लाइन देखिए, continuous comprehensive evaluation will encourage the student to develop all aspects of their personality. This all-round development of the personality will create good citizen of the future. Okay, so guys, zarur evaluation, you should do the evaluation, it is a must. Okay, now we have come to know that continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Now we discuss another type of evaluation, which is a formative evaluation. Second is summative evaluation. Okay, तो व्हाट इज ए फॉर्मेटिव इवैल्यूएशन, ये डिमेरिट्स भी देख लेना इसके क्या हैं, ठीक है। फॉर्मेटिव इवैल्यूएशंस क्या होती है? दिस टाइप ऑफ इवैल्यूएशन टेक्स प्लेस ड्यूरिंग द टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस It is usually done when some content or some portion of the unit instructions have been completed. When the teacher teaches some part of the syllabus, he needs to know that about the effectiveness of the outcome of the teaching. Okay, so when you finish some of the topic, some of the instruction, so guys, during your teaching learning process, you start evaluating from the student. You have seen that, na? In my teaching also, I always start whatever you have learned in the last lecture. Even today, I took your lecture. Okay, and before the recording, I was discussing what we have done in the past. You have seen that, na? Right? So whatever the topics you finish, you ask, you evaluate your student. Okay, whether the student have understood or not. Then you will come to know that if the student have understood, so then you have to go like that. If the student didn't understand, then you will come to know that, okay, I have to change my method also. So that your purpose is to create the fully personality of the student. A content, whatever the content you are teaching in the class, it should be understood by the student. This is your duty. Not your duty is to finish the syllabus. Got it? So this is the formative evaluation which starts during the teaching learning process. Okay. After 1 or 2 lectures, after 1 week lecture, take the weekly test. Okay. Ask orally from the student. Right? Why to take the test in the last? Okay. So guys, it makes your student weak and you are the reason to make your student weak. Right? So you should having the knowledge of the formative evaluation. Okay. अब ये देखो, what are the essential features of a formative evaluation? Formative evaluation is administered during some unit lessons are being taught. In this type of evaluation, particular unit lessons of content is selected. It tells the student, मतलब formative evaluation tells the student about their progress and performance during the teaching learning process. Formative evaluation tells the teacher about the success and effectiveness of his teaching method and strategy. ये देखो, evaluation, it also corrects you also. It also makes your teaching effective because not you are evaluating the student, you evaluate by yourself also. Your methods, your strategies, you improve that when you start taking the formative evaluation. तभी तो आपने, you have seen that अच्छे जो schools होते हैं, good schools होते हैं, okay, they having the record of the student at a very first day up to the last when he leaves the school. Formative evaluation suggests remedial material in the form of a programmed instruction. Formative evaluation tells us up to what degree the aims and objectives of education are achieved. It makes teaching learning process more effective. Formative evaluation provides motivation. It also reinforces learning. ये देखो, reinforcement बहुत जरूरी है. Most important है reinforcement. Okay. Varied techniques of evaluation are used in formative evaluation. The result of a such evaluation should not necessarily appear in any official record. अरे वाह, क्या बात है. देखो, the result of such evaluation should not necessarily appear in any official record. तो ये किसी official record में आता ही नहीं है, तो we don't conduct basically. Or this is the main step. This is the main key to, your effectiveness of your teaching. Okay. So that's why in the new education policy, it has become necessary, right? Advantage and merits of the formative evaluations. Okay, वही वाले almost points होंगे. Provide feedback to the student, provide feedback to the teacher, help in diagnosing learning difficulties, help in reinforcement, help in accelerating learning, helps in assessing the conditions of educational setup, makes teaching learning process more effective, suggests remedial measure, helps in framing proper sequence of learning, can be carried out in both formal and informal way. Okay, अब we talk about the summative evaluation. Okay, मैं आपको वैसे ही करवा देता हूँ summative. Okay, later on you can learn the notes also, right? Up formative, you have come to know that formative evaluations you conduct during your teaching learning process. Okay, after some days, after a week. But summative evaluation is done at the very end. Okay, when you finish the syllabus. Right? So summative evaluation, the tools of the summative evaluations are the test. Okay, test हो गया, exams हो गया, okay, by which you can judge your student. So this is a summative evaluation, right? Formative we have done. So summative evaluation having the merits and demerits, also summative evaluations. What are the features of the summative evaluation we discuss? It is carried out, ye dekho, at the end of a particular instruction, lessons or topic or content, session or semester. ठीक है, मतलब it is taken in the form of the exam, final exam. This is a summative evaluation, right? It summarizes the performance and progress of the student as a result of a unit, content, portion or lesson. It is carried out less frequently than the formative evaluation. Formative to evaluation you take after a week, है ना, right? After a week, after a 10 days, after 3-4 days, after a 15 days. But summative evaluations you take at the end, right? तो ये एडवांटेजेस हैं. ओके, एडवांटेजेस भी आप देख लेना गाइस, वही हैं. Basis of awarding grades, यही होता है ना, grade, you award the grade after the exams. Okay, students are given the grades summative way. Helps in making comparisons among groups, helps in making predictions about educational programs, helpful in guidance, helpful in promotion, helpful in checking proficiency of the teacher. Okay, right? So we have discussed about the evaluation and the types of evaluations. Okay, evaluations you have come to know that types भी तीनों types होगी, comprehensive and continuous, formative and summative. Okay. And evaluation question is same for all the teaching subjects, either English, either maths, either science, either biological science, SST, right? Next, we talk about what is the survey method. Explain the steps of survey method along with its uses and limitations. ये always आता होता है teaching of SST में mostly, right? Science में भी आ जाता है, right? Teaching of science में भी, biological science में भी आ जाता है. What do you understand by survey method? Explain the steps of survey method along with its uses and limitations. Okay, so you have to understand about survey method, then उसके steps, इसके steps बहुत important है. Okay, ये देखो आंसर में देखो, सर्वे मेथड पहले समझते हैं. व्हाट इज द सर्वे मेथड? ओके, लास्ट लेक्चर है ना, व्हेन आई टुक, तो वी फिनिश द लेक्चर मेथड, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन मेथड. ओके, हाँ हाँ, प्रोजेक्ट नहीं कोई, आप यू कैन म्यूट योरसेल्फ, डोंट वरी, यू कैन म्यूट योरसेल्फ. ओके, बिकॉज इट इज अ रिकॉर्डिंग सेशन ना, राइट? ओके, सो 4 or 5 मेथड्स वी हैव डिस्कस. तो टुडे वी आर डिस्कसिंग द सर्वे मेथड. सर्वे क्या है? सर्वे कंसिस्ट ऑफ प्री डिटरमिन्ड set of questions that is given to the sample. Already questions are decided, okay, and you give to the sample, you give to the person to take the respond, right, with a representative sample, that is one that is representative of the large population of interest. One can describe the attitude of the population from which the sample has drawn, the sample was drawn. ओके, अब ये देखो क्या होता है सर्वे मेथड. जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड इन ए फर्स्ट लाइन. ओके, सर्वे मेथड में क्या होता है? ऑलरेडी यू हैव सम क्वेश्चंस ऑलरेडी डिसाइडेड एंड यू आस्क फ्रॉम द सैंपल. ओके, तो फर्स्ट concept of a sample and populations, I explain what is a sample and what is a population. Okay, ये देखो sample represents the population. Now you can see that. Here they go. This is the sample. This is the population. ये देखिए guys, right? Sample और population में क्या difference है? Population क्या चीज होती है? Population a complete set of element, persons or object that possesses the some common characteristics. This is called population. Okay. और sample क्या चीज होती है? What is a sample? Sample is a part of the population, or you can say that sample represents the population. Okay, so I explain you with one example. For example, you want to check the knowledge of computer awareness or knowledge of computer. Okay, knowledge of ICT. You want to check the knowledge of ICT among ninth class student of convent schools throughout India. What is my question? You want to check the knowledge of ICT of ninth class convent students across country, across India. अब पूरे इंडिया में there are many convent schools. Okay, when you start getting the data, ये तो आपको लग जाएंगे 20, 30, 40 साल लग जाएंगे, 10, 20 साल लग जाएंगे. Okay, so what you do that? So basically, you take a sample. You don't take a population. Okay. For example, across the country, you have in the country, in our India, we have the 30 states. Okay. Randomly, we took some of the states. Suppose we have taken the 4 states. Randomly, we have taken the 4 districts. Randomly, we have taken the 4 villages. Okay. And then randomly, we have taken the 4 or 5 schools. और वो जो 4 और 5 schools होंगे 9th class के, that will represent our population. वो this is called the sample. Okay. For example, I talk about Ludhiana. Ludhiana is a one district. For example, in a Ludhiana district, there are 100 convent schools, for example. Okay. You want to check the knowledge of ICT of 9th class or 10th class student of convent schools in Ludhiana district. Ludhiana mein there are 100 schools, so it is very difficult to collect the data of 100 schools of 9th class student, because in a one 9th class students having the 100 or a 200, so 100 into 100 10,000 बच्चा हो गया. So what you do basically, out of 100 schools na, randomly you select 7 or 8 schools or 10 schools. Okay, randomly. For example, out of 100 schools, you take the every 10th school. Okay, first you write all the 100 schools, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100. Okay, right? You are not biased. Okay, you just put the list from the internet and you write the 100 schools, right? And you take every 10th school. You don't know now. Okay, which school would come. So you take every 10th school. So 10 into 10, 10 schools you have taken. These 10 schools represents the population. Now you got it? Okay. And these 10 schools is called the sample. These 10 schools are the sample that represents the 100 schools. Ab wo jo 10 schools you have taken, right? With a one questionnaire, you approach to the 10 schools, you check the level of ICT of the 10th class student. Whatever your result comes, you can claim your result up to the 100 students, up to the 100 schools. You can say that because these 10 schools you have taken from the 100 schools. Okay. If your result is a positive, 90% students having the knowledge of ICT, then you can say that in a Ludhiana district, 9th or 10th class convent school students having the, knowledge of ICT. Right? So now you have come to know about sample and population. Sample always represents the population because collecting the data from the population is very difficult, is time consuming, okay, very expensive. That's why we take the sample. Okay, and sample represents the populations. You always have to keep in your mind. Okay, so there are very different techniques, random sampling, right? Cluster sampling. So if you have the knowledge of this, so according to that, whatever the sampling technique, you can use it and you can take the sample and that sample represents the populations. Okay, now back to our survey method. What is a survey method? Explain the step of a survey method along with its uses and limitation. So survey method क्या चीज होता है? A survey consists of the predetermined set of questions that is given to the sample. Right? ये देखो steps, इसके steps बड़े important है. Right? अब survey method में क्या होता है कि first of all, you have to find out the selection of the problem first of all. Okay, under a survey method. Second, statement and definition of the problem. Third, identifications of the data. Right? Means whatever your data is a qualitative है या quantitative है. Right? For example, you want to check the knowledge of ICT of the 10th class student. right? So this is a quantitative, hana, you will get it. You have the one questionnaire, right? And suppose you having the questionnaire of 100 marks. If the student has taken the 90 marks, 80 marks, so naturally you will say that student having the knowledge of a ICT. So this is a numerical kind of a data. That comes under the quantitative nature. For example, you want to check the attitude of the student. Now I'm changing my question. Example is, you want to check the attitude of ninth class convent schools towards the ICT or towards the computer. अब now you have to check the attitude. तो attitude जो data वो आपका बन गया, it has become the qualitative data, right? Third step में you identify that whatever the data you are going to collect from the student, whether it is a qualitative or quantitative. Okay, so steps बहुत important है guys. The steps in the survey method, first is selection of the problem. Okay, you select the problem. Second, you define the problem. Third, you see that whatever your problem is, whether your problem having the qualitative data or quantitative data. Then in the fourth step, according to the data, whether it is a qualitative or quantitative, you select your tool. Okay, sometimes you have to make your tool. Sometimes tools are readily available in the market. Okay, tools are ready-made available in the market. You can take those tools also. Okay, but you have to check the reliability and validity of the tool. It is must. Then you select the sample. ये देखो sample जरूरी है, because मैंने बताया ना, to collect the data from the population is the most difficult things. अब इलेक्शन चल रहे हैं, देखो आप, है ना, न्यूज सुनते होंगे आप, इलेक्शन चल रहे हैं. फर्स्ट फेज ऑफ इलेक्शन हैज ऑलरेडी कंप्लीटेड. अब व्हाट इज yesterday's news or today's news. In the first phase of a election, okay, the voting was very less, okay, as compared to the 2019 elections are going on na, for the prime minister election is going on na. On the 4th June na, we will come to know that what would be our next prime minister. Either the same government will continue or the other government, right? First phase has completed. Now, how they have come to know that there are many constituencies that they didn't get the data from the individual. Okay, so sample they have selected and they have come to know that कि भाई ये जो voting है ये less हुई है, right? So fifth step is the selection of sample. अब now आपका then sixth step में you start collections of the data. ये रिसर्च है guys basically. तभी मैंने आपको बोला ना, टीचर हैविंग द नॉलेज ऑफ रिसर्च एप्टीट्यूड, राइट? कलेक्शन ऑफ ए डेटा. नाउ यू कलेक्ट योर डेटा. फिर उसके बाद यू एनालिसिस एंड इंटरप्रेट द डेटा. एंड इन द लास्ट व्हाट यू डू दैट, यू मेक द रिपोर्ट, फाइनल रिपोर्ट. दिस इज अ स्टेप, यू शुड नो इट. बीइंग टीचर, अगर आपको ये नहीं आते ना, you cannot teach effectively to the student. Okay, because what is our teaching learning process? What is our education process? Our education process is full of problems. There is a problem of different students having the different knowledge, different attitude, different intelligence. Problem in the curriculum, problem in the teachers, problem in the management and the teacher. There's a lot of problems. Okay, but if you don't know how to solve the problem, what are the steps of the problem which you have to follow, how you can say that you are effective teacher, right? So survey method tells you. That's why I've told you, this is a teaching methodology course. Basically, teaching methodology course makes you teacher. Okay, without, that's why it is called now, without the B.Ed or without the any such kind of a course, you basically don't teach to the student, okay, effectively, right? These are the steps of a survey method. अब सर्वे को छोड़े कोई भी प्रॉब्लम है, फॉर एग्जांपल, तो यही स्टेप्स होंगे आपके, राइट? फॉर एग्जांपल, इन योर क्लास योर स्टूडेंट इज नॉट डूइंग वेल, okay, तो guys, you don't have to put the label of the student कि student नालायक है जी, student is very weak, okay, student cannot gear up, okay. So नालायक टीचर होते हैं ना, these are the वो ऐसे excuses में पढ़ते हैं. For example, your one student is not going well in your class. So guys, what you have to do that? First of all, you have to select the problem. कि उसकी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, नंबर फर्स्ट स्टेप. सेकेंड, यू डिफाइन द प्रॉब्लम. यू विल राइट इट ना कि दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम. स्टूडेंट इज नॉट लर्निंग. Other students are learning, but one student is not learning. One student is always getting a less marks. So how you have to identify? You have to identify first. You have to see the problem. Then you have to define the problem, right? Then identify the data. कि वो जो प्रॉब्लम है, उस प्रॉब्लम में when you will collect the data, वो डेटा कैसा है, whether it is a quantitative or qualitative. According to that, you select a tool or you make a tool. Then selection of a sample, right? Then collection of the data. Then you start getting the data. Then analysis and interpret of a data. And last in the research report, you will come to know that this is the problem of the student. And you solve that problem, right? So you should have the knowledge of this. तो आज के बाद you don't have to say any of the student is weak or any of the child. You don't have to say it is a weak. Okay, our method is a weak. We don't know how to tackle the problem. Okay, doing the B.Ed and continuous learning, we learn. Okay, then we apply on the student. Okay, then we come to know that. तो ये सारे स्टेप्स हैं. ओके, यू हैव टू सी दैट. अब नेक्स्ट है, हाँ, ये क्वेश्चनियर्स, ये क्या चीज है, क्वेश्चनियर्स हो गया, इंटरव्यूज हो गया. दीज आर दी टूल्स ऑफ द सर्वे मेथड. ये देखो इंटरव्यूज. ओके, अब क्वेश्चनियर है ना, ये टूल्स हैं. ये देखो यहाँ पे आया ना, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द, ये सिलेक्शन, ये कलेक्शन ऑफ डेटा, सिलेक्शन ऑफ द सैंपल, ये रहा फोर्थ पॉइंट, सिलेक्शन और डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द टूल. ओके, so you have to collect the data from the student. So naturally you will develop a tool. So tool could be a questionnaire. Okay, either you will make a tool, either it is a ready-made available in the market. Okay, this is a selection or development of a tool or questionnaire or interview also. Okay, so whatever the problem exists between the students, okay guys, तो यू शुड हैव ए पर्टिकुलर टूल्स. तो ये क्वेश्चनियर हैं और ये इंटरव्यूज हैं. दीज आर द टूल्स ऑफ अंडर द सर्वे मेथड. ओके, ये देखो क्वेश्चनियर, राइट. अब क्वेश्चनियर में देखो कुछ ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, राइट. सम क्वेश्चंस आर मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस. ओके, यू आस्क फ्रॉम द स्टूडेंट. ओके, तो जो क्वेश्चंस भी बनाने हैं, यू हैव टू मेक वेरी केयरफुली. Okay, if you make the question yes or no, so you cannot find the problem. You have seen the Likert scale. There is a one problem, or after that it is written many option. Whether you are strongly agree with this statement, whether you are agree, whether you are less agree, whether you are neutral, whether you are strongly disagree, such kind of. So you have to dig more and more from the student from these kind of statements. Okay, right. Open-ended questions, student explain all the things in the open-ended questions में. तो you should have knowledge of these कि questionnaires जो होते हैं, questionnaire, some of the questionnaires are the open-ended questions, some are the questions are the multiple choice questions, and all the questions having its merits and demerits. Okay, next, interviews. अब इंटरव्यूज कंडक्ट करते हैं. इंटरव्यूज इज कंडक्टेड बिटवीन द इंटरव्यूअर एंड इंटरव्यूई, राइट. सो you become more personal with the student. ये देखो, between the two broad types of a survey, interview are more personal and probing. मतलब more you are digging out from the student. That's why ना it is necessary कि there should be a counselor in the school. Teacher is a counselor basically. Okay, because guidance and counseling, you learn it in your B.Ed course. Okay, ये देखो एडवांटेज डिसएडवांटेजेस है. अब व्हाट आर द यूजेस ऑफ सर्वे मेथड? एजुकेशन सर्वे आर पर्टिकुलर वर्सेटाइल एंड प्रैक्टिकल. सर्वे मस्ट डू मोर देन merely uncover डेटा. क्या बात है, right? So you get lot of things from the survey methods. Okay, it gathers data from a relatively large number of cases. It is essentially cross-sectional mostly of what exists type. It is concerned not with the characteristics of an individual, but with generalized statistics. It is an important type of a research involving clearly defined problems and definite objective. Survey may be qualitative and quantitative. ये significance आगे, ये significance भी वही है, ठीक है? Determines the present trends and solve current practical problems. It secures historical perspective through a series of a cross-sectional. ओके गाइस, तो आपको सर्वे मेथड पता लग गया, स्टेप्स ऑफ सर्वे मेथड पता लग गया, ठीक है? स्टेप्स क्या चीज है? फर्स्ट, आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम. सेकंड क्या है? फर्स्ट, सिलेक्शन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम या सी द प्रॉब्लम, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम. सेकंड, राइटिंग द प्रॉब्लम, डिफाइनिंग द प्रॉब्लम. ओके. थर्ड क्या चीज है? आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ द डेटा, वेदर द डेटा इज ए क्वालिटेटिव और क्वांटिटेटिव. फोर्थ क्या चीज है? सिलेक्शंस ऑफ द टूल्स, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द टूल, सिलेक्शन ऑफ द टूल, राइट. फिफ्थ क्या चीज है? फिफ्थ है कलेक्शंस ऑफ द डेटा. सिक्स्थ आ गया, आफ्टर कलेक्टिंग द डेटा यू हैव टू एनालिसिस द डेटा. एंड लास्ट आ गया, मेकिंग अ रिपोर्ट. ओके, फ्रॉम दैट वे ना यू मेक इन योर माइंड ना स्टेप्स वुड बी क्लियर, राइट. फर्स्ट है see the problem, second defining the problem, third is see the data whether it is a qualitative or quantitative, fourth is development of the tool, fifth is collections of the tool, collections of the data, sixth is interpretations of the data, seventh is making the report, right. Basically ये 7 ही steps होते हैं किसी भी रिसर्च के, किसी भी प्रॉब्लम के. ओके, तो ये स्टेप्स ही हैं सर्वे मेथड के. बाकियों के भी रिसर्च में भी यही होते हैं बेसिकली. ये कुछ एक लिमिटेशंस है, ये आप देख लेना, ठीक है गाइज. ओके, नेक्स्ट एक क्वेश्चंस करते हैं. व्हाट इज सोर्स मेथड फॉर टीचिंग ऑफ ए सोशल साइंस? ओके, सोर्स मेथड क्या चीज होती है? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, सोर्स मेथड इज ए एक्टिविटी ओरिएंटेड मेथड. इट इज ए जनरली यूज्ड इन सोशल स्टडीज सब्जेक्ट आल्सो. जनरली source means a person, books or document or picture or actual object that can provide information for learning. It is a learning directly from the actual source. ये है इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन, ठीक है. सोर्स मेथड मींस एक्टिविटी ओरिएंटेड मेथड है. सोर्स मेथड मींस लर्निंग डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द एक्चुअल सोर्स. अब देखो, सोर्स मेथड मींस द टीचर विल टेल द डिफरेंट सोर्सेज फ्रॉम वेयर some information can be received or collected. So naturally, if we are getting the knowledge from the directly source, so it is a first-hand experience and leads to the better understanding of the subject. Okay, right? So sometime you should apply this method. Means instead of clearing the concept in a class as a theoretically, take them to that particular place, to all the student. Okay, they will get the first hand experience, right. अब सोर्सेस कौन कौन से होती हैं? 3 टाइप्स ऑफ सोर्सेस. मटेरियल सोर्स, आइडिया, मशीन्स, वेपन्स. आइडिया, मशीन्स, वेपन्स, है ना. सपोज कोई लास्ट कोई वेपन्स दिखाने हैं आपने, किसी लास्ट कोई टॉपिक है काइंड ऑफ ऐसा हिस्ट्री का. ओके, तो यू कैन all the students, you can take all the students for a particular place where the weapons are kept in a museum and others. Okay, so they will learn, they will get the first hand experience. Oral sources हो गए, songs, folk stories, traditional. Written and printed sources, records, reports and letters, right. तो ये स्टेप्स हैं सोर्स मेथड के. एजुकेशनल सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है सोर्स मेथड की? इट इज ए हेल्पफुल इन सेंस दैट इट डेवलप्स द हैबिट ऑफ ए सेल्फ स्टडी, सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन. नेक्स्ट इज very useful in learning and teaching of the concept, facts, principles, events, phenomena related to the different subject. It develops the skill of collecting data, shifting the relevant and organizing the same. Okay, fourth देखो important, they get first hand experience about different sources which retains for long time. Happens na, you have seen that. Okay, सो इसमें ना मीन्स इफ यू नो द टीच डिफरेंट डिफरेंट इवेल्युएशन टेक्निक्स, डिफरेंट मेथड, तो गाइस बेसिकली इट ब्रिंग्स वैरायटी इन योर टीचिंग. ओके, सो सारा साल नहीं ऐसे खड़े होके पढ़ाते रहना है बच्चों को. ओके, यू हैव टू यूज डिफरेंट डिफरेंट थिंग्स. तो हाउ यू विल यूज व्हेन यू हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ इट. ओके, advantage of a source method: provides direct first-hand experience, develop a sense of reality, creates motivating and interesting ambience in the class. Merits of a source method, है ना, वही सारे आगे demerits आपको पता लग गया source method. Okay, 6 questions आ गया. Define the lesson planning. Explain briefly various steps of a writing a lesson plan. अब याद करो, last to last lecture I took a lesson plan. And I told to all of the student, this question always comes in all the teaching subjects. SST में भी आ गया, साइंस में भी है, बायोलॉजिकल साइंस में भी है, मैथ्स में भी है, इंग्लिश में भी है, राइट? तो आंसर वुड बी द सेम. तो दिस टॉपिक वी हैव डिस्कस्ड थॉरली, राइट गाइस? What is a lesson plan? Various steps, है ना? All the 6 steps we have discussed. Herbartian approach. Lesson plan means plan of action. Stevenson की definition. Okay, to every teacher, I would say that uh, क्या थी? What was the definition of a Stevenson? कहता to every teacher, I would like to say that prepare your lesson beforehand, but do not slave to it. आ गया ना याद? But do not slave to it. Said by the Stevenson. Okay, under the defining the lesson plan. Right? और उसके सारे के सारे steps. Okay? ये देखो, ये Stevenson की आगे definition. To every teacher, I would like to say, always plan your lesson first beforehand, but do not slave to it. Okay. Need and importance of lesson planning. Okay, what are the need and importance of lesson planning? है ना, वो सारे steps आगे देखो. Achieve definite goal and objective, prevent wastage, to create self-confidence in the teacher. Naturally, if the teacher is prepared beforehand, it creates a self-confidence in the teacher. Otherwise, क्या होगा? वो waste करेगा time को. To create थॉरोनेस एंड इफेक्टिवनेस, टू मेक इवेल्युएशन पॉसिबल. स्टेप्स क्या थे? ये देखो 6 स्टेप्स है ना, करवाए थे आपको, याद करो. इंट्रोडक्शन, प्रेजेंटेशन, कंपैरिजन, जनरलाइजेशन, एप्लीकेशन एंड रिकैप्चुलेशंस. ओके, तो दिस इज द सेम. ओके, इवन आई हैव गिवन यू द नोट्स, सेपरेट नोट्स ऑफ दिस. हाँ, इफ यू रिमेंबर. हाँ, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ए गुड लेसन प्लान, राइट? वो सारे जो नीड एंड इंपॉर्टेंस है वही आपके कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स बन जाते हैं. लास्ट में कंक्लूजन. ओके, ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन है. कंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ एन अचीवमेंट टेस्ट इन सोशल साइंस. देखो, साइंस में भी था ना, बायोलॉजिकल साइंस में भी था अचीवमेंट टेस्ट, राइट? तो ये ऑलवेज आता होता है क्वेश्चन, कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ एन अचीवमेंट टेस्ट. तो यहां पे यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द अचीवमेंट टेस्ट. ओके, इट कैन कम इन एनी ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू शुड हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ इवैल्यूएशन. whether this question comes in SST, English, science, okay, you should have the knowledge of. You should have the knowledge of lesson plan. It can come in any of the teaching subjects. That's why I have told you, na, there are many topics are common. More topics are the common. Even 70, 80%, 90% topics are the common. 80%, 90% तक, ठीक है? Achievement test देखिए क्या चीज होती है. Achievement test is a test for evaluation of students' performance after a period of instruction. Achievement test help the student because the main purpose of achievement test is to determine one's knowledge in a particular subject. Achievement test, the name is suggested, achievement, whether the student has achieved or not. देखो ना, आपको इवेल्युएशन अच्छे से आती है तो ये भी समझ आ जाएगा अच्छे से, right? It is a test of a knowledge based on something taught. Achievement test assess what student have achieved from their courses within a period of a time and provide some information with regard to their current level of a progress or whether they are ready for subsequent stages of learning. देखा ये अचीवमेंट टेस्ट. कंस्ट्रक्शंस क्या है? ये पॉइंट्स है इसके, ये आपको याद रखने हैं हमेशा. प्लानिंग द टेस्ट, प्रिपेयरिंग द ब्लूप्रिंट, डिजाइनिंग क्वेश्चंस एंड एडिटिंग द क्वेश्चंस, एडमिनिस्ट्रिंग द टेस्ट, स्कोरिंग द टेस्ट और इवैल्यूएटिंग. ये देखो, वो इवैल्यूएशंस वही वाला स्टेप्स आ गया ना, सोर्स मेथड वाला, राइट? और उससे पहले था डेटा कलेक्ट करना, वो स्कोरिंग आ गया, राइट? और उससे पहले क्या था? टूल सेलेक्ट करना, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिंग आ गया. ओके, तो कोई भी एक अच्छे से कर लो तो then you can compare that and according to that you can learn all the things, right? So these are the steps of construction of a good achievement test. Planning the test, preparing the blueprint, designing questions and editing the questions paper, administrating, scoring the test and evaluating the test. Okay. तो ये मैंने आपको नोट्स दिया हुआ है, उसमें से आप डिस्कस कर लेना. नेक्स्ट क्लास हमारी होगी पेडागोजी ऑफ इंग्लिश की. ओके, नेक्स्ट. ओके, तो उसमें भी हम ये डिस्कस करेंगे. तो वी विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम हियर, कंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ ए गुड अचीवमेंट टेस्ट, राइट? तक टिल देन you learn these all the steps. Okay, otherwise I have covered the main important topics. Okay, so whatever topic is left, it would be covered in our next class. Okay, जिसमें हम करेंगे pedagogy of English, right guys? So ये सारे steps हैं. So thank you so much guys. अच्छा, साथ ही आपका ना टेस्ट भी होगा, याद रखना. ओके, नेक्स्ट जो होगा हमारा वो कवर अप हो जाएगा. तो आपका पेडागोजी ऑफ ए सोशल साइंस टेस्ट है 5 को, राइट? 5 मई. नेक्स्ट फिर पेडागोजी ऑफ इंग्लिश होगा 12 को, राइट गाइस? सो एवरी स्टूडेंट हैव टू अपीयर इन दिस टेस्ट. ओके, दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? So okay guys, thank you so much for this class. So this lecture would be recorded. Okay, so later on you can check on the YouTube also, right? And after this lecture you have to see your syllabus and start your study. I assure you, you know most of the part, like 80-90% of the part of the syllabus you will cover up. Okay guys, thank you so much guys.